These 6 Straw Hats never got devil fruits, but it turns out the creator secretly created perfect fruits for each of them. And first, we gotta talk about Zoro's ideal fruit that's so powerful, it makes him stronger than Luffy. Yeah, the creator Oda said the perfect fruit for Zoro is the mythical dragon devil fruit. And it's so overpowered that the guy who currently has it is called the strongest pirate in One Piece. But crazily enough, Zoro wouldn't eat this fruit, instead feeding it to one of his swords. And with this devil fruit, Zoro's sword would unlock 3 powers, each one stronger than the last. The first ability would be simple, as Zoro would still be able to use this devil fruit katana as a normal sword, but he'd only use this form when fighting weak opponents. The second ability is where things get deadly, because once Zoro activates the sword, it would turn into a half-dragon, half-sword hybrid. And if you thought normal Zoro was powerful, the damage he can do with a dragon sword is godlike. First, this katana has insane reach, with the blade having the ability to move towards the enemy. He could either use it like a whip, or just extend the sword so the dragon head can chomp enemies. The craziest part of this ability is that the katana can also breathe fire, which kinda means Zoro would be the only One Piece character with a flamethrower. But believe it or not, this ability is just the beginning, because the sword's third form is so powerful that I think it puts Zoro ahead of Luffy. See, when a fight gets too tough, Zoro's sword can fully transform into a dragon. Yeah, Zoro would have one less sword, but in exchange, he'd have a powerful ally at his side. And since he takes such good care of his blades, it's likely the dragon and Zoro would develop a deep bond, making the dragon even stronger. Zoro's devil fruit would give this dragon the ability to burn enemies with fire, strike people down with lightning, and even create tornadoes. So yeah, Zoro would be an absolute menace with this fruit. But here's the thing, Zoro's already super strong. He doesn't need a devil fruit as much as Usopp, who literally has the title of the weakest Straw Hat. But unfortunately for Usopp, Oda decided to give him one of the worst devil fruits out there, the Pocket Fruit. Now, I'll explain why it sucks in a second, but first, we have to understand how it actually works. See, at first glance, this devil fruit seems like the perfect match for Usopp since it gives him the ability to create an infinite amount of pockets. Inside these pockets, Usopp can store as much slingshot ammo as he wants, as well as traps, explosions, and anything else that will help in a fight. And while I hate this fruit, it does have the dope ability to store anything, no matter the size. So technically, if all the Straw Hats got on their ship, Usopp could put the ship into his pocket and hide the whole crew. But here's the thing, this is a lame devil fruit because of how weak Usopp already is. He has to settle for pocket powers, while Zoro gets the dragon devil fruit and Luffy has the god fruit. Honestly, Usopp's fruit is pretty disappointing. So let's move on to Franky, since Oda gave him the smartest devil fruit out there, the weapon fruit. This fruit gives the user the ability to turn any part of their body into a weapon, which is such a perfect match for Franky the cyborg that it would make him a 100 times stronger than his original self. See, Franky's already designed his body to be deadly, but this fruit would bring him to a whole nother level, allowing him to build guns and cannons into his body, as well as invent weapons that don't exist yet. Who knows, he might even create laser cannons or nuclear bombs. But things get really crazy when Franky figures out how to awaken the fruit, giving him the ability to turn his surroundings into weapons. This would allow him to turn a rowboat into a warship, or even turn an island into the Death Star. If he got to this point, only several people in all of One Piece would be able to stop him. Now, we've only covered half of the Straw Hats so far, and later, we'll share the fruit that turns Nami into the strongest crew member. But before that, let's talk about Sanji, who gets a fruit that nobody expected. See, throughout the 1,000 episodes of One Piece, Sanji has always claimed that his dream devil fruit was the Suke no Mi, or the invisibility fruit, mostly because it would give him the ability to spy on Nami. But when Oda was asked what fruit he would actually give to Sanji, he revealed that the perfect fruit would be something way weirder, the Swim fruit, which would give Sanji the ability to swim through anything, like concrete, dirt, or even metal. Now, Sanji and this devil fruit are the perfect combination because he's the only person person who can use the full power of this fruit. See, one key weakness to this devil fruit is that you can only travel through objects as fast as you can swim. And since most people in One Piece are average swimmers, this devil fruit would be weak. But Sanji has a power called Blue Walk that lets him run underwater, meaning that all his speed will translate to the Swim fruit. This devil fruit gets even deadlier when you realize that Sanji can also fly, which means that Sanji would be able to attack from any angle. However, the most useful power Sanji will get is stealth, because if Sanji travels underground or underwater, he'll leave zero trace behind. So while he claimed he wanted invisibility powers, this devil fruit will be super close. Next, we have Jinbei, and this guy is so new to the crew that Oda never had the chance to share what his perfect devil fruit would be. So it was on me to find the perfect devil fruit for him. Now I see 3 options for Jinbei. First is the strong fruit, which obviously makes the user physically powerful. Since all of Jinbei's attacks are already strength-based, this fruit would make him a beast by basically 10xing his current skills. But just getting stronger is a boring power. So for Jinbei's second devil fruit option, I chose the diamond fruit, which would turn Jinbei's body into the hardest gem on Earth. This diamond is so sturdy that Mihawk, the strongest swordsman, couldn't lay a scratch on it. And since Jinbei is already known for his defensive abilities, I think there'd be maybe 3 people in One Piece who could actually injure his diamond form. But there's one fruit that I think would fit Jinbei best, and that's the Shibo no Mi, aka the dehydration devil fruit. This fruit would let Jinbei absorb liquids from somebody's body, then use those liquids as an attack, which is perfect for Jinbei since he's a master of fishman karate, a fighting style that needs water. Jinbei could use the devil fruit powers to get water and then use the fishman karate to attack his enemies, meaning he'd have an infinite source of water for battles. He could also absorb all the liquid he drains and use it to grow in size and turn into a giant. If Jinbei was able to knock Big Mom around at his normal size, just imagine what this dude would do if he was even bigger than her. Now we have Nami, the straw hat that Oda turned into a beast. See, Oda revealed that Nami's devil fruit would be the Goro no Mi, a fruit that gives Nami the power to become lightning. This devil fruit is considered to be unbeatable because of the sheer amount of power it can create, with some fans saying that Nami could easily create 200 million volts of electricity. That kind of power is enough to destroy entire islands. And we haven't even mentioned Nami's companion Zeus, a cloud that eats lightning to get stronger. With the power of the lightning fruit, Nami would be able to feed Zeus an infinite amount of lightning, giving him world-destroying strength. Destructive power aside, the best ability Nami would get is super speed, because she would be able to condense herself into a ball of lightning and move at the speed of light. There's also the fact that Nami could technically be invisible, because by transforming into lightning, she could hide in thunderclouds. Every thundercloud in her vicinity would also be a conduit for her powers, letting her attack through clouds miles away from her. But the Goro no Mi wouldn't only help Nami offensively, it would also make her navigation skills even better. You see, the user of this fruit has the ability to read electromagnetic waves, and since Nami can already predict when a storm is coming, this fruit would bring her prediction skills to the next level. Honestly, if Nami really had this fruit, we might have a new captain. But so far, we've only talked about the Straw Hats who don't have devil fruits, because Luffy, Chopper, Robin, and Brook all have one. And this got me wondering, sure, they already have insane abilities, but are their current devil fruits the best? Or is there a fruit out there that's a better match for their skills? Well, it turns out that there's a devil fruit for Robin that would be way better than her current one. I'm talking about the Suke no Mi, the invisibility fruit. Now, while Robin's current fruit lets her do awesome things, like transforming into a demon, the invisibility fruit is a much better match for her, and that's all because of her past. You see, Robin spent her entire life on the run from the government. She got her first wanted poster when she was only 9 years old, so she could never find a place to call home. But if she had the invisibility fruit, hiding from the government would be no problem. And since Robin had the worst childhood out of all the Straw Hats, this devil fruit would be perfect since it would make her life just a bit easier. Next up, we have Brook, and it's pretty difficult finding a better devil fruit for this guy. I mean, if he didn't have the resurrection fruit, he would be dead. But let's just say Brook didn't eat a devil fruit and somehow became a skeleton completely naturally. In that case, I think the Hie no Mi, or the ice fruit, would be perfect for him. We've seen Brook freeze people alive with his current ice powers, but this devil fruit would bring it to the next level, because it has the power to freeze an entire island. On top of that, it turns the user's body into ice, practically making them invincible. If Brook had this devil fruit, he wouldn't have even died in the first place, since his powers would have been enough to save his life and his crew. But if you think that's impressive, I found a better devil fruit for Chopper, and it's a mythical devil fruit. Now, I already know what you guys are thinking. If Chopper had a different fruit, then he wouldn't even be in the story, since he was originally a reindeer and only gained the ability to think and talk after eating the human fruit. So to fix this, I found a different version of his current fruit called the human fruit Model Buddha. With this fruit, Chopper would still have his humanoid form, but he would also turn into a giant golden Buddha. The Chopper we know has to use drugs to become a giant monster, but if he had this fruit, he could turn into a giant monster without breaking a sweat. At the end of the day, Chopper would be the same guy, but with the power of enlightenment. And now we have Luffy, who already has the perfect devil fruit. Yeah, I couldn't find a better fruit for him. Before, when we thought he had the Gomu Gomu no Mi, it was pretty easy to find a better one, since us fans thought his only power was stretchiness. But after finding out he actually has the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika, which is basically a god fruit, it's impossible to find a better power for this guy. I mean, this fruit makes the user fight in a way that brings joy to everyone who's watching. In other words, this fruit is what makes Luffy, Luffy. There's just no way we could take such a joyful fruit away from Luffy. Now, these devil fruits were amazing, but check out this video to see the worst devil fruits in all of One Piece.